Domain and range are totally two other things that students tend to struggle with. And maybe the idea of thinking of x as a number line and y as a number line will help. Domain is going to be where are things just on our x number line. Don't worry about y. I don't care how high up they are. I just want to know where do they start. So if we're going left to right, okay, so we're heading this way, everything's heading this way, right? Where do we first meet our graph, left to right? And that's at 0. And then as it continues, you see how we're going to have arrows? And it's going to continue forever that way. That's what an arrow means. So our domain is going to equal, it's going to go from 0 all the way to infinity. So it does have an interval of 0 to infinity. Now I'm going to switch colors and let's think about our range. So our range, we're coming from the bottom here, we're coming from negatives, okay? And when do we first meet our range? And we first meet our range in this problem at 0. So our range is also going to start at 0. And as it goes up, see how this arrow, it's kind of going right, but it's also kind of going up. It doesn't show any indication that it's ever not going to continue going up. So even though it's going up much more slowly than it's going to the right, it will still eventually approach infinity. So I'm going to say that our values of our range, and maybe we use interval notation, which just says it's going to start at 0 and it includes 0 and head up to infinity. And if we did our domain the same way, sorry I didn't put it this way the first time, starts at 0, includes 0, and heads all the way up to infinity. Now the reason we put this round bracket around infinity is because you can't ever get to infinity. It's not a number you can reach. You can be like, oh, I ran the race and I finished infinity miles. It's not an attainable number, so we use a round bracket around it. And this one on the left here has everything to do with the fact that it was filled in. It wasn't an open circle. An open circle would have indicated, hey, it doesn't include that one, so use a rounded bracket. It's the equivalent of less than or greater than, open circle, round bracket. So the second one, does the range have an interval of -2 to infinity? Absolutely not. Does the domain go from 1 to infinity? Nope. How about the range? Does it go from 0 to 2? That was a trick question because it kind of hovers around 2 right there, but that's not where we want to end up. It's going to continue up and right. So not that one. And then the domain has an interval of 0 to 5. That's a really commonly missed one because people are like, well, the graph ends at 5 right here. So probably that's why that arrow there that I accidentally covered up is everything, because it's showing that it continues off the graph forevermore. So A is going to be our clear answer.